All righty. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I already see Miss Mary Jo and Daniel are in the chat with us this morning. I'm very glad y'all are joining us. We were set for yesterday, but we had a little issue come up. I've had some weather in my area. I don't know if Mr. Willie, I even forgot to ask offline how he was doing with weather. We're in near bats the same regions, and we got swamped with weather. But nonetheless, everything's working out great, and we have got a show we've been trying to set up for, 6-7 months now. So I'm very, very honored today because we have our first Pathfinder, Sergeant Willie King from the 4th ID, although we'll find out later. He served with the 173rd in some capacities and the 101st in some capacities, but he really made his bones, so to speak, with the 4th ID as a Pathfinder with the code name Night Jumper Bravo, which is a great story in itself. And before I tell too much of the story, I'm going to let Mr. Willie give a bio on himself, and we'll get the questions started. So, Mr. Willie, thanks for joining us, and the floor is yours, sir.
All right. Good morning. My name is Willie King, and born and raised here in Columbus, Georgia. Went to school at Carver High School here. Graduated in 1968. And I guess about 2-3 weeks later, I volunteered for the U.S. Army. And I really didn't know what I wanted to do. I just wanted to get away from Columbus and try to make something out of myself. I didn't want to go to college, nothing like that. I didn't like school because, in my opinion, they wasn't teaching anything. Or maybe I just wasn't capable of learning anything. But I wanted to get away and find out what the world was like. I was too poor to really go to college. But I knew I probably could go in the Army, and if I kept my nose clean, I'd make something out of myself. So that's what I did. Volunteered, went into the Army, and volunteered, I guess, for infantry. I like the outdoors, being outdoors and stuff like that. I like to hunt, shooting fish, so the infantry was right down my line. And I wanted to see what the world was all about. So I joined the Army probably 2 weeks after high school, and I did my basic training at Fort Benning, the Humboldt Church area. I left Fort Benning after basic, and I went to Fort McClellan, Alabama. That was my infantry AIT. And from there, Fort McClellan, I came back to Fort Benning. I enlisted for the Airborne School. Came back to Fort Benning for Airborne. Finished Airborne, and I don't know if I was a top student. I was one of the top students in Airborne, but upon my graduation from Airborne School, I was approached and asked was I interested in becoming a Pathfinder. And I said, well, I don't know. I said, you got to tell me a little about what is a Pathfinder. What do they do? He said, well, they do this, they do that. Several things he was pitching out. But like I said, I never heard of Pathfinder. I said, well, I'll give it a try. And I asked him, why me? He said, well, you got all the qualifications. You got high marks on your PT tests, AIT, basic, jump school, and you got expert in your shooting capacity. And you said all that is what required, some of the requirements to be a Pathfinder. I said, okay. I said, I go for it. And the guy was so sharp. He had this uniform on, that torch he was pointing to, and I kind of liked it. Like I said, I didn't know anything about it. And I said, okay, I'll go for it. And so that's how I got to be a Pathfinder. I was chosen, and it went from there. But like I said, this was after jump school, with the Pathfinder school. So once I left Pathfinder school, you get your little short leave, and you're automatically going to Vietnam. The war, because I found out after I had went through Pathfinder school, you was going straight to Vietnam, wasn't in the way out of it. That's where you was headed to. So that's why I ended up going to Vietnam. But en route to Vietnam, I think we flew out of Fort Dix. I think from Atlanta to Fort Dix or something. They was picking up different guys from different states. And on the way to Vietnam, I think the last port we left was out of Chicago. We left Chicago, headed to Vietnam, and the plane engine went out. When the plane engine went out, and we had to make a emergency landing, going to Anchorage and landing in Anchorage, Alaska for about a couple of days. And I just happened to be sitting on the wing looking at the engine. I said, "Oh my goodness!" You know, it was one of my first plane landing. Because the jump school, the first plane I got in, first 5 times, I had to jump out of them 5 times. I had never landed on a large airplane, you know. But en route to Anchorage, Alaska on the emergency landing, we stayed there about 3 days. Another plane came and picked up. We was going to Vietnam. And flying into Vietnam, we was making the final land at Cam Ranh Bay. And upon landing at Cam Ranh Bay, I would call it the Freedom Bird, Cam Ranh Bay was under mortar attack. I mean, plane was trying to land. We new recruits, and you can see people running all around the place, and we actually saw a few mortar rounds hit. And so once the plane landed, all the guys on the plane, we got out and we were just running around. We didn't know where to go. It was fun. I look back at it now, it was funny, but it was scary too. But it was fun. The plane was landing. We got running around like little ants. I didn't know where to go. I just running with the crowd. But I look back now, it was funny. So that was the first day of Vietnam. There was a mortar attack. And it was just like saying, "Welcome to Vietnam." That's the way I looked at it. So from that point, I was assigned to the 4th Division. And there was a Pathfinder slot there in the 4th Division. There was one slot open. And I think I had the only MOS as a Pathfinder at the replacement center. And that's how I ended up with the 4th Division Pathfinders.
Wow.
The guy named Sergeant Parrish, he had got shot up, and I filled his slot. But I didn't know at the particular time that I was going to be the only minority there for pretty much 18 months. I was a Pathfinder with the 4th Division. And Pathfinders was a close-knit group of guys. And but being in the 60s, and also it was a lot of racial tension. I got to call it like it was. Sweeping under the rug, there was a lot of it there. But being a Pathfinder in Vietnam was a very dangerous job, and I didn't realize it until I got in it. And once I got in it, I was all in there. But that's how I ended up getting in it. But I guess a lot of people want to know what we did as a Pathfinder. Well, I don't really know where to even start at. But
training as well. We're not very familiar with the training aspect as well.
Okay, well, going back to the Pathfinder school, the training, it wasn't as physical as say jump school. Training, it wasn't nothing like jump school. I mean, basically pretty opposite of it. Jump school is a lot of physical running and jumping and humping, push-ups, and all day running. You couldn't walk anywhere. Pathfinder school is a little different. We have to be able to do a lot of math formulas because we did such a variety of things that was required of us. We had to set up drop zones, so we had to know the formula, the drift, the height, the windage, all this. We had to calculate all of that pretty much in our heads. And maybe that's why I was chosen. I was pretty decent with numbers and math and stuff. Maybe that's why I was probably chosen also. I can deal with numbers pretty quick, fast, and hurt. But you have to, if you're going to be a Pathfinder, you have to know the drift of the height and all that, and calculate it, which way the wind going and stuff like that. If you're going to set a drop zone, it's not like it is now where you got machines that are going to calculate all that for you. You have to be able to do that yourself, the windage and stuff like that. Plus, we had to be able to set up flying patterns. If you had a be able to, if you're out in the I would say out in the boondocks, out in the wilderness, you got a fire base or something like that. You got to be able to set up be able to run a air zone, a control air zone, so you wouldn't have any collisions. So you ATC qualified once you went to Pathfinder School. You were able to set that up.
Wow.
Set up the air traffic control. And also, you have to be skilled in calling in the artillery, like a forward observer. We have to be able to do that, forward observer. Also, we have to be able to, we go through extensive rigging, be able to
parachute rigging,
repelling. If you called on a rescue operation, you got to be able to repel, jump, high, low altitude jumps that you couldn't land. Had to do rigging, repelling. In case you have a rescue, you got to go in and rig an aircraft and get it extracted. I hope I don't miss anything. It was just so much was crammed into your brain. It said 5 weeks. You have to be able to they cram all this into your brain in 5 weeks' time. So that's just some of the things. But also in Vietnam, that training that you got, you have to once you got to Vietnam, you really had to, in a sense, on the job training, apply what you had learned in school to what was going on in Vietnam, because it wasn't too many guys coming back to Vietnam telling you what was going on. So it's kind of like on the job training. You have to be able to modify what was happening in Vietnam, and with the training that you took back at Benning, and make it work over there. It was I would say, exciting experience. I put it like that. It was pretty exciting, pretty much. But a lot of on-the-job training, learn how to survive in Vietnam, because everybody expect you to have the answer, and you didn't. But you just hope and pray whatever call you made was the right call, because so many people's lives that were dependent on you, and then you yourself as a Pathfinder, it was a target on our back. We was always targeted. Be the first person to get killed, the first person to get shot. Especially, we always had the radio on our back and the black hat. We just stuck out like a sore thumb. Really, people's always trying to kill us first. To be honest with you. But that was just some of it. The thing that was going on.
With before we get completely out of the training pipeline, one of the questions that came up for either any of your training, but especially with Pathfinder, considering you're getting in there before anyone else, did y'all have a SEER school or any type of escape and evasion or any training like that at that time?
No, it wasn't anything on the line. I guess your physical fitness and your wittedness, wherever you able to reach your compass, physical fitness, able to reach your compass, whatever you was expert in. You wasn't just gonna come in an average guy. You got to be an expert in physical fitness, rifleman expert at reading the compass, maps, and all like that. We had to be able to draw maps of landscape. If you go up in a tree on high ground, we would draw maps, and all that was part of the schooling, the teaching rather, from the Pathfinder School. So we was already equipped with that. We had to draw the maps, all that stuff, just part of it. And you just prayed a lot that you didn't get killed, but we was always a target. Always a target. First guy in and last guy out. They was using us a lot of time when they want maximum. They want to eliminate the enemy. They want maximum effect from the aircraft or whatever they was going to be utilizing on those different missions. But that's when we was called in, when they was expecting a good enemy group, intelligence. Some probably say there was a lot of enemy in the area. We'd be sent out right in the thick of it. They want us to utilize whatever talent we had, whatever aircraft that was going to be on standby, because it was kind of difficult for the commanders themselves to control their guys. And also, you got Cobra gunships flying around. You got guys in and out. It was a combat assault. You got guys leaving the aircraft, and I've had instances where guy was hit by some of the rotor blades that run into the tail road and get killed. When guys shooting at you, stuff like that, it's real hectic out there. So I was there to control that, make sure the helicopter know which way the enemy was. There's just so much was going on hot LZs and guys getting shot. You couldn't hear the gun, and you know somebody shot when they hit the ground. You see them bleeding out or something like that. But just like you're standing up here and talking, I had a thing I practiced. I just practiced trying to keep moving all the time, up and down, side to side, talking on the phone. So I just wouldn't be a steal target because I know the guy was shooting at me, just missed me.
God almighty, dang.
You couldn't hear a doggone thing. If you hit, you hit. But it was here. When I look back at it now, it's kind of bothering me. But being 20 years old, it really didn't make a difference. If you got killed, you got killed. But you're scared all the time. You just kept trying to do what you had to do. But it was pure hell. When I look back at it now, I get nervous not thinking about some of this stuff. You're seeing people get shot. You can't hear the guns because the helicopter in and out. And they think you're just trying to stay alive and keep other guys alive. There's a whole different war now. They have, the different kind of machines and the new technology now. You're able to pinpoint stuff. But back in those days, you didn't know where the guy was hiding at it. Nothing like that. Somebody had to get shot so you know where the shooting come from. You know what I mean?
That speaking of today's and technology, that kind of brought up the picture we were talking about offline. Were you wearing radio, your head commo and listening, your headphones at all times? Did you have that on, or was that for specific times calling in air? Or
well, as you see, that's old technology. But what it is, I had like the one ear was connected to the phone, and when I was trying to hear out the other ear, I was like split my time trying to listen to what I was doing by talking on my Prick 25 and trying to listen to what was going on around me all at the same time. So I had to split that up. But that's just where it was. I never did wear a helmet because it wasn't designed at that particular time where you can have the headset on with a helmet on. So I didn't have a helmet, but I'm going into Cambodia. This picture you see now, I'm headed into Cambodia that day. At first, I got shot out and stuff. Headed into Cambodia, and I couldn't even wear a helmet because I couldn't communicate with anybody. So I had to have one ear on and one ear probably, jacked up a little bit. Couldn't wear a helmet because you couldn't get a helmet on, see. But that was my gear for that day. I had probably about 100, 200 rounds, probably ammo. But that was my gear going into Cambodia to fight. On the first helicopter, I'm standing on a pile of used artillery shells. I just finished praying the Lord to take me in. And I figured I was going to get killed that day. I really did. And I didn't even know the guy took that picture. I was getting gear. I'm a few minutes from boarding the helicopter, going into Cambodia, and getting shot down. That's what that day is all about. Yep.
I'm sure that photo will come up again about people asking questions when we get to them. But as we're going along here, and we'll let some questions build up before we get to them. But you had mentioned as you were finishing up getting into Vietnam, you mentioned you had been assigned to 4th ID as a Pathfinder. And where exactly were the Pathfinders at? Were they at Camp Nari at this time, or the 4th ID, or where were y'all located?
Yes, we was at Camp Nari. That was in the Pleiku area. Okay. And I think nearby they had Camp Hardaway, the Air Force base there. It was called Camp Hardaway. Yeah, we was at Camp Nari there at the Pleiku area. Mm-hmm. But we later on ended up moving to Camp Ratcliffe in RK. But I was somewhere out in the field. I don't know exactly what day it was. I was out at, like I said, Camp Ratcliffe. I was at RK. We moved from there from me Nari shortly. I think it was, I don't know, it might have been around the first of 1970, something like I can't remember the date. Now I was so busy, I can't remember the time.
Wow.
I was a pretty busy guy though.
Oh yeah. We'll be getting into just how busy you were. So when you get in there and you're officially at Camp Nari, what's the whole FNG guy routine like in country? Who are you going to see to find out what you're going to be doing and such as that? What's this like?
Well, okay. I'm that FNG, that new guy. I come in, I'm looking around trying to see if I can. Well, I thought I was going to be in a larger group, but I didn't know. I didn't know what it was going to be like till I got my feet on the ground and went to where the Pathfinder was. And they said it's about 12. It was about 10 or 12 guys there. And I'm looking around to see if I can see anybody look like me. It wasn't, I said, I'm the only guy here. So I just waited around. I had to keep to myself, I didn't know what was up. And so first few days, I just kind of kept to myself and trying to figure how this thing was going to go. It wasn't like people coming up talking to you. I didn't have anybody to talk to because this was in 69. And it's still kind of tough, but stuff you talk about with some of your fellows that you signed to, a lot of stuff you talk about what was back home, where you from and stuff. So I knew there was nobody there that I could talk to about what was going on back home because they was fighting back home in the street. And I'm over there trying to figure what I'm going to do and how I'm going to handle the situation over there. So about the first week or so, I just kind of kept to myself, man. It just wasn't like it was real tight knit. And I got assigned to do a little base camp guard duty at the first week. And I think probably the second week, I got assigned out at a Mountain Yard village to relieve some special forces guys out there in about 2 weeks' time.
Oh.
And I was out there playing one of those.
Play me? I
think it was Play Me.
Mm-hmm.
And man, we got hit out there every night. That was my first contact. I didn't know what to do, just shoot back at them, But I was at the special forces camp there, and I went out there about the first, I don't know, about the second week I was out there. And we were relieving special forces guys, and that's why I made my first contact in Vietnam. I think trying to shooting back, because every night being out there, we got hit.
I think I remember you telling me, as a matter of fact, not only getting hit, but y'all were getting hit hard, mortars and RPGs.
Yeah, I was out there and I was in a bunker. I was cooking on a 6 out there, right? And they were walking the mortar in, and got fired a RPG on my little sector. I was like I said, I was cooking on a 60, and all of a sudden an RPG hit about a foot from my little firing sector. Yeah, little firing sector, probably about 12 inches, about 12 inches. It wasn't a big hole, but I was on the inside, and that RPG went off, man. I lost my hearing there for a few hours. I couldn't hear nothing. It's kind of strange. You can't hear nothing. No sound at all. You're looking at people, you see stuff going on, but I mean, just deaf, nothing. And that was kind of weird. But my hearing came back later that next day, but it came back and it was just like a buzzing sound. I was hearing like a buzz sound, a ping and sharp pinch sound. It did that for several days, and I just figured that was just gonna be my next normal. But eventually, my hearing came back, and I didn't tell anybody about it. Man, I was a Pathfinder. I was getting jump pay, and that was $55 a month extra, and $55 a month back in 1969 was a lot of money extra to be getting, I didn't tell anybody I couldn't hear for a while. Trying to read lips and stuff. But yeah, I lost my hearing for several hours, and I didn't tell him about all that little pinging sound. I mean, like that. Right? No, man, I didn't want to get kicked out of the Airborne. I said, "Shoot, somebody find out they're gonna cut my money, man." So I kind of kept it to myself. You know what I'm saying? I can laugh at that stuff now, but man, that was some scary stuff back then.
I can imagine going so long without your hearing. I mean, that's got to be pretty dang.
I was kind of reading lips and stuff.
Man, that wasn't your only experience. I think at a special forces base. I think you were also. Well, this is later on, but I think you were also at Plagerang Special Forces Camp.
Yeah, well, Plagerang, I think that's where we staged up for the Cambodia base.
Okay.
That's what that picture of me standing out there on by the artillery shell. That's why I was praying that day. I was asking the Lord to accept me in His kingdom. Because when I looked around, and it was like it was hundreds of helicopters, just as far as you can see. I never seen that many helicopters in my life, not staged like that. But what the deal was, I had just came back from home. I got married in April 20th. And I had already done 12 months. And I had extended back in August of 69. And what made me extend, I had probably been in camp about 6-7 months. And a friend of mine got killed. He got shot down and crashed and burned a helicopter. And I was ticked off behind that. And I'm already just about 5 or 6 months in Vietnam. I extended for another 6 months before I even done with 12 months. And I was just, excuse my French.
You can speak freely, sir. You can speak freely.
Like I said, I was just pissed. So what I did, I extended for 6 months. I said, I'm gonna have to stay here a little longer. I gotta make up. They're gonna kill my buddy. So, and that's what I had done. I extended for 6 more months on top of the 12. That's how I ended up doing the 18 months. Okay. But my mind was messed up, man. I'm just being real with you. For all that early combat and stuff, it was crazy. Probably came from that RPG.
I was about to say that had to ring your bell.
Yeah, that
big
RPG
time.
was some gun, man. It took me here now, but if that had came over in that little sector, in that little firing hole out there, man, it'll cream me forever. it'll cream me showing up. I wouldn't been here talking with you.
God,
but that's how I ended up. I took his body back home. His wife had asked the Army, could I escort the body home, which I did. I went home for 30 days. I was back in August of 1969. And that was before this Cambodia invasion thing. But yeah, that Plagerang was where the staging area to go into Cambodia. Yeah, that's what that was. Okay.
Wow. That's we'll definitely be getting into some of those photos because you've shared some wonderful photos that'll come up. But guys will be asking, and I don't know how much it'll change through the years, but when you're with the 4th ID, are you carrying an M16, a Car 15? What's your weapon loadout and your gear loadout looking like at this time?
Well, I'm carrying a Car 15, as you can see on this picture, real small. And reason being, he was in and out the helicopters so much. And a lot of times I can just take and slide it under my armpit. And it wouldn't, a regular size M16, it'd take up too much time to get trapped on your leg. And most of the time when we was flying, we were just sitting on the floor of the helicopter with our feet hanging out. That's the only way to fly. Only way to ride in a helicopter. you sitting in the door with your feet hanging out. That's pretty much the only way I flew in them for 18 months. But the Car 15 there, that was our weapon. And that's what I had for 18 months. So that was assigned there. Plus, I had a 45 inside my jacket. I kept a 45 in that. You didn't know that, but I kept one. Extra 45, and you can see on my right hip, I had my little booney knife. So we well prepared. The Boone knife there, got a 45 inside my shirt. That's it, probably bulging out right then. Above it, come down a little bit to go. It's bulging out just above the clip there. The 45, I'm at my stomach. Go by my stomach. That's a 45, right? Yeah, that's 45 down in there.
Oh, okay. There we go.
Yeah, I got a 45 right there.
How many mags were you able to tote for your 45?
I think I had maybe probably, I can't remember exactly, man. I can't remember now. But I think I got a couple of bandoliers of 16. They're probably 100, 200 round 45. I think I got one other shoulder, I believe.
Folks were curious about the bandolier belt, as they call it. Did you do that often? Was that what brought that on? What was your idea for doing that?
Well, that's the way it was. You just had a little strap, you can just tie them. It's just like an apron with pouches in it. That's how it was. It's kind of designed like an apron, it had a little straps on the back of it. And we just tied it to the back, tied it to the back of it. That's pretty much where that went. But I think it was what it was about 5. I don't know. I can't remember exactly. Excuse me. I can't remember. I think it was about 5 or 10 clips. I can't remember exactly, but
I can't see how far it goes. But I'm at least getting 7.
Well, I think it was 20 rounds to the clip. Somewhere along there.
Wow, that is.
I would have that one on, and sometime on the left shoulder, I had one strapped out there sometime. But that was pretty much it. I didn't carry grenades because, man, I was really kind of afraid I might pull a pin out because I was in and out the chopper and up and down the radio and stuff. And I didn't carry any grenades with me. No, I just didn't fool with those.
I see you 2 things. One, it looks like you've got 2 smokes. Would you at least carry smokes in case you needed to mark an LZ or something?
Yeah, the smoke was critical. We had to have smoke because markings, just in case we get cut off or something and somebody get hit, we can identify location and stuff like that. But smoke was crucial to our operation. We had to have.
Absolutely.
Just about the smoke. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Mountain yard bracelet there. That was a bracelet that I got from the mountain yard. One working the mountain yards.
We always love hearing about y'all's interactions with the yards. What was it like getting your bracelet? Well,
you just work with them and you learn a lot from them. They was like a primitive group of people. A lot of them still shot bow and arrows and spears and stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
And it was barefooted. They lived in huts and stuff. They wasn't like the I would say the Asian people. They was like a completely different group of people themselves. They were completely different from anybody. They were like a Indian in a group. And you can see that they were their own little group. They stayed out by themselves in their own little huts and stuff, and they hunt with the bow and arrow, as you can see there, blowing bow and arrow, and they had blows that they would hunt with, and most of the special forces guys would work with those guys. I never did go on a mission with any of those guys, but by working out there so often, I would be able to communicate with them, and I was able to drink some of the rice wine too. You drink some of that rice wine with them, you part of the group then. I was out there so much with them, I drank some of the rice wine, so I was one of the homies. You know what I'm saying?
We've heard that stuff was pretty daggone potent as well.
Yeah, but you drank it with them, they realize you part of the group then.
Yeah, so, you instantly come in part of the brotherhood.
Yeah, you part of the brotherhood, and that's what I did. I said, if you don't kill them, you won't kill me. So, shoot. And that's what I did. It made me a little sick at first.
Oh, I can imagine.
It was okay.
Do you remember where the yards that you were accepted by? Were they near the Pleiku area, or they were?
Pleiku area. Only yards I really associated with closely was around the Pleiku area. Like I said, it was south of Camping Nari down the area. It was a lot of yards in those areas, but you know that what that is, LZ X-ray and all that stuff is right around the Pleiku area. X-ray is probably about 10 to 15 miles from Camping Nari, just I think it was south of there.
You had actually seen it a few times, haven't you? Or
I've been in. I didn't know nothing about it that went on until later on in life. But I worked LZ X-ray all the time. It was a lot of killing going on around that area, man. Shoot, it was a lot of shooting going on. It was out in that area was a hot spot. I think that was like where they kind of spill in from Cambodia, the Ho Chi Minh Trail. They had these little areas coming in from Cambodia around that area, around the X-ray, and I think it's the area called Columbia. It's all kinds of little compounds out in that area. But X-ray, I think those guys got ambushed. They lost a lot of guys out there, but I didn't know anything about it. I just worked the area myself, man. I got shot at a few times. Getting shot at was regular. It was just a regular day in the office. That's all it was, man. Got shot at so much it didn't even bother me, to be honest with you. As long as it didn't get hit. Got hit one time, though. But it was just regular at all. I expect to get shot at. That was just part of it, you know.
I was about to say, doing what you're doing, running around in a black baseball cap with no helmet and car 15s, I imagine you're definitely expecting to get some bullets thrown your way.
Yeah, they try to capture me a few times. I don't know. God is good.
I absolutely, yeah, absolutely.
He's good.
Van Fam had a good question about some of the Pathfinder teams when y'all were going on missions. He was saying, could you basically kind of compare them to the recon teams we heard about in SOG, where y'all are in a small group going ahead of everyone else, snooping and pooping, or what would you kind of classify the Pathfinder role as?
Well, the Pathfinder role, we didn't do a lot of snooping. But what we did, most of the time, people know we was coming. Recon, I think they had to be a little silent, sneak in and get intel and stuff. But I think a lot of our mission is spin off the recon. They knew a lot of Vietcong or NVA in the area, and we get the intel. There's a lot of them in the area, and they need us out there because they want to maximize the count. Where they want to make sure they kill as many as we can. That was the bottom line. They want to maximize the count. So recons go out to get the intelligence, send back in. All right, they'll send a Pathfinder team out, and they'll try to make contact, company, platoon, whatever moving out there. We try to get in on the ground while the platoon leader or the company commander, they controlling their guys, because it's kind of hard to control the gunships. See. And a lot of times the gunship come in, you got a gunship coming in with rockets, machine guns, miniguns on them. You want to be able to put it directly where it needs to go, because a lot of guys got killed by friendly fire too. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. That's where we had to be in there to control that, know where the company commander, the platoon leader, where his guys at. And I can direct the fire direction to the helicopter where the friend is at, and sometimes I pop smoke, identify where we at, in direction to where the enemy at. See, he was trying to keep from getting a lot of guys killed by friendly fire. Because that helicopter coming in there, he gonna unload, he gonna get shot at too. But you didn't want to drop a load on any of the friendly guys, so that's why I was there, and I always had to be on the front end of it to direct that, and I ran in the thick of it all the time.
You were also, I mean, not only, to be fair, gunships, I mean, you were working F4s as well, fast movers, weren't you?
Yeah, I called in a few F4s. Base at the time, F4s brought in Willie King, white phosphorus.
Oof.
And what was happening there, a lot of time, every Viet Cong guy, he'd be out there in a spider hole or a tunnel, and sometimes the white phosphorus get them to come out or cook them in the hole. Well, they call it cook them in the hole. You see what I'm talking about? But you want to be very careful with that white phosphorus, because sometimes you're out there around the grass area, and it can start a fire, and you can burn some of your own guys up. You see what I'm saying? The fire gets started out there. So you got to be very careful about what you're calling in, so you want self-destruct. Because little Air Force coming in, and once they release, they can't take anything back. You see what I'm saying? So you got to be very careful, and you have a lot of close calls out there too. So you have to be very careful. Once you get out there and start making contact, and you survive and you learn on the job training what the do's as well as the don'ts, what you can do and what you can't do, and that's where once you survive a few, you understand how it goes. One of the biggest things I had to encounter with out there was sometimes a second lieutenant. He'll come out there and straight out of the academy, wherever you're from, and you think that school and stuff, you can apply it. In some instances you could, but if you want to live in Vietnam, sometimes you got to do on-the-job training, what you can and can't do. And I had a few encounters with some lieutenants, and I used to just ask them, I said, do you want to live? when he tried to pull a rank, I said, do you want to live? And he said, yeah, I want to live. I said, well, you better let me handle this then, because I'm not going to let you get me killed.
No.
But that's where last time I had an encounter with that. But it all worked out good. When they realized I knew what I was doing after surviving that long enough time, I didn't have a problem with them, because I had my own little special call sign, and people that know my name, they just knew my call sign. So your call sign is your combat name. That was it. My call sign was Night Jumper Bravo.
Could you talk a bit about Night Jumper Bravo for us?
Oh yeah, the 4th Division Pathfinders, we was known as night jumpers. And I guess, with the military, I guess your numbers and stuff will identify your rank as who's in charge. Okay. So I had my commander was a West Point grad, and he believed in doing things. He was a good guy, a great guy. But he was from West Point, so he had to push us, and he did that. But anyway, he was giving out numbers and stuff. This was like one of our first encounters, He was giving out numbers and stuff, and his call sign was 6, Night Jumper 6. So he came to me. He was telling me, he was saying, your call sign gonna be some number. He was trying to give me some number. I can't remember. I said, whoa, wait a minute. I said, look, I'm not a number. See, I had already been there a little while before he got there, before they exchanged commanders. And I said, look, I'm not a number. He said, well, I got to give you a number. I said, I'm not a number. I said, I'm a brother. I said, I'm the only guy there. I said, I'm a brother. So I said, you can make me Night Jumper Bravo. You see, I didn't know how the military was set up, but I didn't want nobody to call me a number, So I said, look, I'd be B. Bravo, Bravo B for brother, stand for brother. So we just call me Night Jumper Bravo. And so a few guys looking around, they really laughing at me in a sense. I said, I don't care. Just call me Night Jumper Bravo, and that B for brother, So that's how I ended up with being called Night Jumper Bravo. And I think I was the only guy that was a letter instead of a number. You see what I'm saying? So my call sign was Night Jumper Bravo. And it was for brother. You see what I'm saying?
He's gotta have some respect for you and such. If you're gonna be the only guy that's got a letter, shall we say, instead of a name, a number designation, and what better than Night Jumper Bravo?
That's how the Night Jumper Bravo came about. See, I didn't know anything about the military. I did my 3 years in, and I was gone. I was gone. I wasn't planning on staying. They tried to get me to extend and stuff. I said, no, you can make me a general. I'm not staying. When I finally got my head screwed on after 18 months of Vietnam, I said, you can make me a general. I would not stay in the military. It was just too much I had done and I had seen. And the thing was, and still to this day, I'm still there at times. I'm still in Vietnam sometimes, you know. I'm just calling it like it is. I'm still there now. You know, every few months, I'll be back there doing the same thing. You know? That's right. It is what it is.
Yeah, I've my father, before he passed away, he'd have his days. Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. It's wild stuff. What you men went through and came back home. It's wild. As we're kind of getting to the fourth. Oh, one last thing with fourth ID before we transition into your next insane role of actions you're about to get into here. What was the average manpower or team going out for a fourth ID Pathfinder operation?
Well, we mostly work in 2-man team. But I went out as many as 3-man team, okay? But depending on what we had to do, we going out to a fire base and set up air traffic controllers. It's probably 3 teams going, 3-man team going out there. But on the average combat assault, it was probably 2 of us, 2-man team going out. I know on the rescue, I went in the Cambodian border. On a rescue, it was a 2-man team. Went on a rescue to the Rigger helicopter, and they had some stuff on there. They wanted to bring the chopper back. They didn't want to blow it, so we had to go in there and rig the helicopter and get it back out. That was a 2-man team. But that picture that you're showing there, it was a 1-man team. Nobody but me going into Cambodia. And I asked my CEO, I said, why do you send me on that mission by myself? And he just flat told me, he said, I didn't have enough guys to send. So I sent you my best guy I had. And that's why I was praying that day on that picture. You know, I knew I was by myself, and I was going in with the 101st, the 3rd, or the 506. I think it was Charlie Company or somebody. But I had never met any of those guys. I didn't know any of them, nobody. I was by myself. And I was told to go in, get them in, and maximize whatever I had to work with and try to get as many kills as I possibly could. And that's what I had to do. But I just knew that day I wasn't going to make it back. But God's good.
Boy.
But I was by myself on that mission. That's the first mission I ever been on by myself. And one of the most dangerous missions too I ever been on. Yep.
Jeez. And I think I just mentioned you were saying, and I can't remember. I don't know if you remembered at the time, but the nice boy that went with you, y'all were basically volunteered to go. I think he was from Cherry Hill, New Jersey. One of the boys.
Yeah. I can't remember his name now, but that's when we went on that mission to get the down helicopter that was shot down. It was pushing dark that day. And I think my CO came in and said, we need some volunteers. But see, you know, after I think about it, you don't volunteer unless you're going across the border. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't know. You know, later on I found out what the deal was. But he was looking right at me, saying, I need some volunteers. I said, yeah, he's looking at me. I'm looking to the left or right. I said, I see anybody on the side of behind me, you know? I said, he's looking right at me. I said, I don't need to be going. I said, I'm one of the senior guys. I don't need to be going on that mission. So I guess he probably chose me because I was a senior guy. And if anybody could go in there and get it and get out in minimum amount of time, it probably was going to be me. So he was looking straight at me, my CEO. I said, oh goodness. I said, I really didn't want to go. But I ended up going, and I looked around, and nobody else wanted to volunteer. And one guy that was I knew there, he was a kind of young guy. He said, "I'll go with you, so," and he went with me, and we kind of grew from there. We went in and almost got killed, got shot up pretty good. Everybody get hit. It might have been just a few rogue Vietcong NBA guys just trying to knock down a helicopter and kill a few guys passing by. But they knew the helicopter down because, you know, helicopter just don't go down without somebody knowing about it out in the brush, you know what I mean? But our thing was, it was all about speed. Go in and rig it up, hook it up as fast as we possibly could and get the hell out of there. That's what it was all about. And that's what I tried to do. And we was able to do it. And just like shy of getting completely out of there, we came up on the attack and trying to get out of there. And I was just probably fired about 100 rounds. I just kept shooting till we cleared the area, man. And hope we can get shot down the chopper that we was getting out on. I think it was a Chinook that was pulling the Huey out. It was a big target. So I was just shooting to get out of there, man. We were able to survive it, but that was kind of tough day at the office too.
Jeez, yeah, that sounds like one heck of a day at the office right there.
Yeah.
That is
another day at the office. That was just some of the real tough time. You know, you got shot at all the time, it wasn't no big deal. But that was another tough day at the office. That one was. But I got a bunch of rough days at the office, man, that I still live with today.
God almighty dang.
It was all right, but that was pretty tough.
I know we've kind of flipped around here a little bit a few times, but what came next after Camp Nari and the 4th ID? Did you go home, did you say, for a little bit, or were you already hooking up with the 101st or 173rd?
101st was during the Cambodian invasion. That was in May of 1970 during the Cambodian. Matter of fact, they're in a month now. What about the 10th, somewhere along there?
Yes, sir.
The Cambodian invasion went on like the first week of May of 1970. That's when I had to hook up with the 101st, 3506. That's where that picture that you see me standing out there. That's why I've just been praying. That's where that was that play Jarang. I think that was the stage in play Jarang. But that's when I went to 101st. But I was with the 173rd. I think it was LZ Eagle or something. It was out near the coast. I was out there and I got hit in the foot. Mortar attack out there. I got hit in the foot, but I didn't put in any paperwork for Purple Heart.
Oh, wow.
I just got where I got my foot wrapped all up. I stayed out there a few weeks until I got it healed up where I could kind of disguise when I got back to base camp. But like I said, at $55 a month, I didn't want to get cut away from that. So I didn't let nobody know I had got hit in the foot, man. I said, no, I'm going to keep that 55 coming along as I can. That 55 the extra money coming. I need extra money. $55 a month in 1969. It was big money. Going into the military, you want to make about $80 a month. You get an extra 55 to jump school. Shit, man. Yeah, I had to keep that going. I didn't tell nobody even I got hit in the leg. But I kept that going. But we did a lot of other missions around there. I think one of the most, I guess, the traumatic mission I went on, we were working on the border, and I can't remember, it was some extraction we were working on. I can't remember all the details on it. But during the final sortie going out, I was supposed to be on the last bird. It was a hot LZ. And I was supposed to be on the last bird, and then we came up on a heavy fire. I mean, they was trying to kill the bird too, you know. And I was probably, I don't know, maybe 30, 40 feet from the chopper. I'm back near the wood lines, moving around trying to keep from getting shot. So what happened, the helicopter got shot up pretty good. And the last guy got on, and I'm on the phones talking to the pilot. I said, I'm head right to you. I'm running, trying to get on the chopper. And all of a sudden, I guess I was maybe 5 or 10 feet from the top. This is no lie. He pulled up out of there and left in the air. I said, oh, hell. And I said, man, I'm not on. He said, man, I got to go. He done got shot all up, the chopper taking hits. So he pulled pitch and got up out of there, to keep from crashing. So I was left there by myself. And I said, oh, my God. Now that's where that training and
oh yeah,
physical fitness. That's where all that come into play, showing up now. So I'm left in, I think around the border, Cambodia. I'm left there in Cambodia by myself, and of course I said a few short prayers, and I just went back in the brush and stuff. And I said to myself, I got to get out of here. And he told me he couldn't come back because he was bleeding. I think he had some hydraulic leaks, and so he done good to get back from crashing, But anyway, I'm left up by myself, and I don't know how many hours I was out there, but I was moving, trying to move to high ground. And as I was moving, a guy finally came up on my frequency that had worked with me before. And he called me and said, "Nice jump, Bravo." I forgot his call. So I would like to shake this guy's hand and also hug him and kiss him to this day. But anyway, he said, "I heard you got left out here." Yeah, man, I'm out here all by myself. I'm trying to keep it humans too. Yeah, I'm all out here by myself, man. I don't like to be out here by myself. Can you help me? So what happened? This guy was flying one of those crane helicopters, big sky crane helicopter.
Mm-hmm.
He was flying one of those guys.
Oh my God!
And I was telling him where I was at, and the coordinates where I was at. He knew the area I was at because he had picked it up from somebody, one of the other pilots. And he came over, and I walked him to me. But the strange thing about that's why I'm saying about the smoke is so important. I was working to some high ground. While I landed the LZ pickup zone where we got shot up, I started working to the high ground. I said, that's going to be my best option to get to some high ground. I worked in the high ground, and when I got in view of the crane coming my way, and I told him, I just walked him in to me. I told him where I was at, 12, 10, 11. And I walked him to me. Then I popped smoke when he was maybe, I don't know, maybe a few meters away, a few thousand yards away. I saw him, and I walked him to him. And I popped yellow smoke. And he let me know where I was at, And I told him where I was going to break to and all like that. I'm trying to get out of it. And he said, I see yellow smoke because I'm heading that way. I told him I probably about at 11, 12 o'clock, whatever. Walking to him. So anyway, when he spotted me yellow smoke, he said, I'm coming to you. Then a few seconds later, he said, I see another yellow smoke. I said, oh, hell no. I said, that second yellow smoke, disregard that one. I said, that first one, that was me. I said, what it is, that second one, that's a decoy. That was some problem. Viet Cong or NBA had popped yellow smoke on to lure him over to their area. They can probably shoot him down. So, I said, disregard that second one. I said, that's not me. So I knew they was on to me, trying to capture me. I knew it was on to me. I was breaking the high ground. I told him what I was going to do. And I was able to get to a high spot. He was able to drop like a ladder to me.
Mm-hmm.
And I was able to jump out on, because he couldn't land because I was on the side of the mountain. He just got up high enough to keep his blades clear. He dropped one of those ladders. I was able to jump out on it. And that's how I got rescued myself. So I went there. So when I hooked up to the ladder, I grabbed the ladder, he just pulled up in the cloud, went up in the cloud, above the cloud, and I just dangled probably about 20 minutes swinging through the clouds to get back to base camp. Now that was a tough day at the office too.
Oh my God, that's like that's a movie right there. I mean, jeez.
That was a tough day at the office, man. I guess when I jumped off, and I still jump sometimes behind that, but the idea of getting captured and taking a chance of jumping off the side of a hill onto a ladder, I didn't have a choice. I was going into the ladder, man. I wouldn't let this guy capture me. I had seen what they'll do two guys that kept in there, cut you up and put parts off your body and put him. They'll do that and leave where another team can see them out there. You know what I mean? See, a lot of stuff don't hit the news, but once you're out there and you see that with your own eyes, see stuff goes on, how they torture people. I said, no, I don't want to be part of that.
No.
But I got rescued that time. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I've heard some. One of the few times my dad would speak about his time with the Marines and I Corps, he said he came across a few of the boys in his unit that had been captured, either as Kelly and Charlie, and they mutilated him.
That's right.
Just
grievously.
It made him so mad. I mean, it just sparks a fire in you. Gosh. Right. Thank God you got out that day. I mean, that right there is and it's not just a regular extract. You're getting a Huey or something like that. You've got a sky crane with a ladder extracting you. I mean,
but I didn't care what it was, man. I only got my butt out of that, man. I said, whoever he is now, he probably tells some of his buddy that I sure wouldn't mind. I can meet that guy and give him a hug and a kiss. He really saved my life, man. It was just another day at the office, probably for him too. It was just a little different scenario there, but it was just another day at the office for me. It shot at all the time, but that time I got rescued. I'm telling you, the Lord is good, man.
I mean, it's and there you didn't even do SEER school or anything like that. And E&E'd off the LZ, and I can only imagine when the blood had to drop completely out of your body once he radioed you're alone. I got to get off I got to leave, and there you are solo.
Oh yeah, well that was pretty. That was a pretty devastating moment for me, getting left out of by myself. I can't even explain to you how I felt. I'm in the jungle by myself, and then stuff just spinning. But I just knew in my heart, I said, I got to get out of here. I'm gonna make it, and that's just what a lot of that training come in, and it's very important that you do train, because you never know when you will need that in order to survive. If I hadn't been physical fit, there's no way in the world I could be going through that jungle, running through that jungle, up the hill, all that other pack on me. You see, I'm Brit. Man, I had to keep the guy from catching me and capping me. Shit, I wasn't going down without a fight, though. I wasn't going down about that one.
No.
It's going to be a fight. It's going to be a fight out there in the woods, that's for sure.
I was about to say, you were on the run fighting for yourself. I would have felt sorry for those boys that came across you, and the first couple that you got after. God forbid they would have gotten you, but thank God they didn't, and you made it home safely, and we're able to speak to you about this and laugh about it now.
Yeah, we can laugh and talk about it now. But, at that point, I knew my time was running short, and chance of survival was very thin. I had so much had happened, You
can only tempt fate so many times.
And I knew it was time for me to get out the middle. I said I couldn't do anymore. They tried to get me to extend, trying to promote me to E6, and I said, no, you make me a general, I wouldn't stay. I'm gone.
Wow.
And my mind was made up. I was through the military. I had seen so much killing and had dodged so many close encounters myself, getting captured, shot up, shot down so much. And
being a door gunner on inserts. I mean, you didn't even mention that. I mean, you actually flew as a door gunner.
Door gunner, because being a Pathfinder, you're so pumped up all the time. You was pumped up to do something, and just sitting around maybe a couple of days, it just wasn't something normal. We couldn't do that. We had to stay pumped up, ready to do something all the time. So we would volunteer fly door gunner for some of those guys that wanted relief, and flying door gunner itself was a very dangerous job too. But we would do that. I'd done it a few times just to get some excitement going on. But once you pumped up, you have to stay pumped up, because once you're out of it, you through with it. Mm-hmm. And that's when one of the last missions I was on when I got left in Cambodia, I knew then
So were you, after this last operation, was literally that, was that your last?
It wasn't my last operation. That was one of the last big encounters I had.
Okay, yeah.
And I knew then I was still like straddling the fence, where I was going to stay in and get out. And I wasn't worried about rank. And I was up E6 in less than 3 years. I was up E6, getting ready to get promoted to E6. And they offered me E6. They just give it to you. Qualified for it. I said, well, I guess I'm qualified for it. I've done everything he has to do and some. But I made it clear to him. I say you're ranked for somebody else, and I'm gone. I said I'm through the military. I can't deal with it, and I couldn't deal with it. I just couldn't get in a peace of mind. And then coming back to the States, I had about 7 months left. It was hell. Going back to some kind of racial environment,
with guys who had not even been to combat yet, probably treating you like
that too. All that kind of stuff, man. So
yeah,
I'm trying to find peace of mind, man.
And that's another reason, not just for your service to this nation, but what all you've endured pre-military, as soon as you got home, and that just is a testament to the type of man, both strong in willpower and strong in character, to be able to do what you've done, gone through what you've gone through, and come out as a good a man and as a nice a man and as caring as a man as you, and as accessible as a man as you, with what you've gone up against in life. It's a testament.
Well, I had done so much, and I served the country the best I could. And I just tried to just do good, treat people fair, and expect them to treat me fair. And I just made clear, I said, I'm going to just do the best I can as long as I can. And I stood on those principles. I wouldn't lie. I wouldn't cheat. I wouldn't beat. And I stand on those principles to this day. I wouldn't tell a lie on nobody. I wouldn't lie for myself. You know what I mean? In my life, but I wouldn't tell a lie on me. But I wouldn't cheat, and I wouldn't be the person. So help me God. But everybody's a little different. That's just me. That's just my story.
We're losing all of that's why I'm glad we've got y'all still, and some of y'all are still open to talk to us, because we're losing all of you all old hard charging old school men that really lay it out like it needs to be, and treat people the way you should be treated. It's if more people were like that, we'd be in a lot better place. I
think so. Yeah. All of us, we all want the same thing. Better way of life. All of us want the same thing. True. And much blood I've seen shed in Vietnam, all of us bleed red. Yeah. Blood is red. It don't know what color your blood is red. And your butt on the line, you don't care who or what it is. They're gonna save your butt. Thank you, Jesus. Just sent me an angel, And that guy that saved that helicopter pilot, he was an angel to me. I don't know who he was, but he knew who I was. But we had crossed paths probably doing encounters, in Vietnam. But like I said, my call sign was Night Jumper Bravo. And like I told you, I got it, you know what I mean? I wasn't trying to buck the system. I just want to be a little different. And I was a little different. But God is good. I say it all the time because a lot of those encounters, man, I've been dead and gone, man. I mean, showing up, I can remember seeing people getting killed next to me, you know what I'm saying? I've had a guy was sitting next to me who was doing monsoon. And he got up and we was sitting there smoking. During monsoon, so much mud out there. I don't forget, we was in the highlands somewhere around Unkill somewhere, sitting on the tracks of a tank up out the mud. And he got up and he went to go up under the main gun to go around the side of the other side of the tank. And somebody on the inside got spooked or something, hit the machine gun and knocked both his legs and his arms off. And his blood was all over me. And that was a horrible, horrible injury. And both legs, and he fell in the mud, it was just all the mud, just blood. No, he bled out. I didn't even know him. I just met him the first day. We just sitting there talking. And somebody asked me to get up and go around. And I said, no, I ain't getting up. I'm tired. So I tell a guy I don't want to do anything. I'm not gonna do it because I remember I just not getting up. If I'd have got up, I probably would have got a shot because I've done the same thing. This guy got both his legs knocked off and one arm, his left arm was holding on to the top of the main gun, but he was swinging underneath the main gun. The guy under there, the machine gun fired sector. Gun went off and knocked both his legs off and his right arm. Knocked all that off, man. Just hanging on by a piece of meat. And he was bleeding out. Never will forget this one. He was dying in the mud. The only thing this guy asked me, man, just tell you where your mindset at 19, 20 years old. He said, man, I still got my thing dying now. I said, yeah, you still got it. You couldn't tell. Okay. There's so much blood, and I just took a punch and threw over the guy, man. I felt so sorry for him. But he didn't have a chance to even hurt, man, because he knocked it off. He just blooded and blood all over me. I felt so far from him. That was one of the worst accidents. Accident, a guy still being alive. I knew he had to bleed out because there's no way he could survive. His hip shot, both shot right midway his hip, his arm shot off.
I mean, point blank range tank gun. Yeah.
I think it was a machine gun.
30 cal or
I don't know, it was a 50 or 60, but it knocked all that off right now, right, just like that.
My God,
all this blood got knocked all up on me, But I've seen my share of killing. I had my share of all that killing and shooting. And I don't want nothing but to watch my grandchildren and spend the rest of my life, my wife, my grandchildren, my great-grand. That's all I want to do, man. All that stuff don't mean nothing. And everybody is the same, you know what I mean? Everybody.
You men have definitely heard enough gunshots and seen enough that I'm glad y'all are home and getting to enjoy y'all's family. And so you've got grandchildren and great-grandchildren.
Yeah, I got great-grand. Matter of fact, I got hit on my oldest daughter's birthday. She was born November 11th, 1969. That was the day I got hit in Vietnam too. 1730 in the foot. That was the day I got hit in the foot. The same day on birthday, 11/11/69. Sure did. But if I put in paperwork in, I'd have got me a Purple Heart.
Oh,
I was so stupid thinking about it. I said, shit, I didn't know what a Purple Heart meant, get a Purple Heart. But I just didn't want to get cut off from the jump status.
$55 gone just like that.
At $55, I probably would have been able to stay on jump status. But see, that's the key. I was on jump status the whole while I was over there. But I didn't want to take a chance. What I was doing, foot injury was crucial. So I didn't even let. Somebody knew I got injured with some of the guys that was with me at 173. Because I was just hanging out with them, chilling out till my foot got well enough where I could put a boot back on. And I got a limp back to Camp Nari, you know what I mean?
You sound like some of the SOG men we talked to that, were injured multiple times,
Yeah, yeah.
that wouldn't dare write
No,
themselves up, or if someone said, you're getting a Purple Heart for this, they'd grab them or either get the paperwork and rip it. And it's like, you're
yeah,
not writing
yeah,
this up. I ain't leaving and
yep.
going back to the States.
Yeah, that way it was. And that's kind of where I looked at it, because Purple Heart was not one of those wars you wanted on your resume, in your records, But I probably could have I got pictures and stuff with my foot all wrapped up, but I said, no, I keep this to myself. And I didn't tell him. I got back to base. It was a Pathfinder with me, and to this day he didn't tell anybody I got hit. But I wouldn't tell nobody I got hit. Like I said, I wasn't taking a chance on that 55, man. I don't have 55. 55 was big.
I've actually got a photo of you when we get to that with your foot taped up.
Okay.
That's pretty good. So we've got some good questions here to start.
Right.
Now we've gone an hour 15. Did you want to or did you kind of cover what you did post military? Did you want to speak about what you did or what you're doing now post military before we get into questions? Or
oh yeah, construction. I got into construction. I was
wow.
I thought I can go to school and learn something. Try to go to school, but I really couldn't concentrate. What was I had PTSD and didn't know I had PTSD. I didn't know what was happening. I know I had nightmares and stuff. All that stuff just piling up on me, But I was trying to go to school. I wanted to be a FBI agent. That's why I wanted. I didn't want to be a regular law enforcement. I figured if I'd be a FBI agent, kind of smooth things out, racial tension and stuff like that. Because it was so unfair. A lot of guys had done a lot of things, they still get mistreated and stuff like that. So I came in at the federal end of it. I could do the best I could, my experience and stuff from the war. But I couldn't concentrate. I couldn't go to school because I couldn't concentrate on it. I couldn't hold a thought, none of that stuff. And really, I couldn't, back in the 70s and stuff, I couldn't tell nobody I have a hearing problem, because if I got to a point I need to apply for a job and they figured I was having a problem, I was threw it away. Look, I kept my mouth closed. I didn't tell anybody anything else. Somebody knew about it. I was having problems sleeping and stuff like that with my wife. That was my wife then. She passed away now, but she died in 91.
Sorry to hear that. While you're speaking of this, were you one of the men? My father spoke about it often. He, for a period of time, he didn't tell people he was a veteran, and that makes
I
me
didn't tell anybody.
That makes me hurt.
I got rid of all of my stuff that was connected to the military. I got rid of everything except for my paperwork. I got rid of my knife. I got rid of my dog tag. I got rid of all my uniform. I got rid of everything. I didn't want nothing to remind me of being in the service. Okay. I live here at Fort Benning, Georgia. And I guarantee you, 20 years, I never set foot on Fort Benning for anything, not to look or nothing, because I didn't want to have nothing to do with them there. So then I started coming out probably after about 30 years after the war, somewhere along there. And I started running, I was running a construction company, brick mason construction. And a lot of those guys was talking about it. I see them talk with some of them. And they said, "Well, you in the military?" I said, yeah. And they said, "What you do?" I told them I did this, and they thought I was lying. So I was, no, I did this. Hey, what kind of military you guys? Well, I got CIB jump wings. I got a Bronze Star with a V. I got 5 out mountain. They said, "You lying?" I said, "Well, whatever." So a lot of them didn't believe me, and I wasn't broke, and they just just talking and just communicating with some guys sometime that was in the military and that stayed in. But a lot of guys didn't even know I had been in the military. They didn't know I had done nothing. And I didn't even know I was even on some of the documentaries.
Ken Burns. You're on Mr. Ken Burns documentary, guys.
I didn't even know I was even in that. The guy saw me on it. He was watching all of it. I wasn't even watching the military. I had nothing to do with the military. I tried to forget all of it. So then I started getting a little better. I could talk about it and tolerate it a little better. You know what I mean? So I started following up on it and follow up. Then, hey, this have benefits attached to it. I go, oh, okay. Benefits, dollar signs, you know. So I come out of that little dumb mode and started benefits, the dollar sign. So I kind of combined those two together, and I did keep all my paperwork.
Thank God.
All my paperwork was true. I told everybody what it was, and I didn't have any problem getting benefits. But
Thank God.
I kept all my paperwork. It was a lot easier. I just laid the paperwork on the table and told the guy. And he said, "You ain't lying, is you?" I said, "I don't even lie. Don't lie on me." So that's my line, guys. I wouldn't lie on me, man. So I was able to get my benefits bam just like that because
great.
I told them it's true, and I had paperwork to back up everything I said. So
wonderful. I'm so glad. I hate hearing the stories of guys that it takes 10, 15 years, but at least they do get back pay for that eventuality that they finally get it. But I'm very glad that some of you guys kept y'all's documents and were ready from the get-go when you found out and you were able to get it so quickly, because it's such a help as a son of a veteran who went to school because of his father's disability. I wouldn't have my education without his service. So
I feel you. Absolutely.
Yeah. And gosh, did your you ended up having children, and did any of them join and one of that's going to come up about military service. We'll get to that, but while we're speaking about current or leading up to current times, did you did your any of your kids follow you into the military or anything?
Well, my oldest son, he went to the Air Force Academy out in Colorado Springs.
Wow.
He got an Air Force Academy, but I think it was during the Gulf War when Bush was the president. He didn't want to stay, so he did a year out there, and he transferred and went to school and graduated from Howard in DC.
Wow. Okay.
But that was the only my immediate. Out of 6 kids, he's the only one that went in the military. The rest of them didn't go. And, some nieces. I had a niece that went in. She retired a few years ago as a colonel, lieutenant colonel.
Jeez.
So, but I didn't push for them to go in. The choice was left on them. They asked me about the military. I just had to just tell it from my experience. I didn't know anything about the new modern day because I wasn't keeping up with it. I was trying to forget all the parts I knew about it. I didn't want to have anything else to do with myself, so I didn't push any of them to go.
Absolutely.
But
that was going to be one of our questions. Did you encourage them to get in?
No, I really didn't. By me being my own businessman, working for myself, it turned out pretty decent for me. I had a no quit attitude. Yeah. I always figured if somebody else can do it, I can do it. In some cases, I might be able to do it better. But I wasn't going to stop until I finished the job, and I wasn't going to leave a half-ass job. It's going to be the best that I could do it. And that's the only way I knew how to do things, do the best that I could for what I was doing. And to this day, I'm the same way. My biggest competitor is myself.
Wow, that's we've definitely tell that you've always had a drive, and clearly you've still got it. That's it's amazing. That's why I love getting y'all stories out, because Lord knows our generation, my generation, the generation below me could learn a little bit from y'all on y'all's determination and y'all's hard nose and nose of the grindstone mentality. I love that about y'all, the older generation. So we're not going to pry too much deeper. We've gotten to your family and what you're doing now. Well, I will ask one more to close out current times. I did list your oral history. As a matter of fact, let me show people so they know what I'm talking about. Guys, he sat down for a video oral history project. And for some reason, there it is. With westpointcoh.org. and you can type in Mr. Willie King, and it'll come in. You can actually Google Willie King, and it'll come up immediately. But it's about a 45-minute interview, and I believe he's at the Pathfinder reunion. Are you a part of the Pathfinder organization now, or what are you a part of any organizations?
Yes, I'm still a life member of the National Pathfinder Association.
Okay.
And I'm also a life member of the DAV, life member of the Triple Nickel.
Oh, wow.
Those are veterans organizations. I'm still a life member. I'm not as active as I used to be.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
My name is still on the thing. By being a life member, you stay on the list. Yeah.
Excellent.
Mm-hmm.
All righty. It looks like we can get to our questions that we've got already. We're about to hit an hour and a half here, and I don't want to hold you too much longer. We've had a great show thus far. Let me see if this was. I think we kind of got into that. I've always wondered what sort of training did they have to prepare themselves for being dropped solo behind enemy lines? What kind of mental mindset do you need to have to know that you're alone behind enemy lines?
One thing, you got to trust in the Lord. And you got to believe in yourself, and your training and stuff that you go through. You got to take it serious. It's no plaything because your life depends on it.
Oh yeah, besides the trust in the Lord, which is a necessity, you've got to have faith in yourself as well, because there ain't nobody else out there, and you best have been paying attention in classes.
That's right.
We did cover the seer portion. Yes, everyone's saying what an amazing man. Okay. James, hi bud, can you ask Mr. King what was the best prank? He thinks you were in SOG. He was with 4th ID. He got in late. Do you know of any good pranks while you were around, either you pulled or any of your buddies that they pulled while in Vietnam?
No. Oh, well, I think I exchanged some steaks and beer and stuff out to a line unit. I was on the radio sending supplies out. And I think some steaks supposed to be going to some command group guys,
Okay. Yeah. Little diverting.
I made a mistake on purpose.
That's great.
I did that. I think I did about a couple of times when I was back sending supplies out or something. I did that a couple of times. I really did.
Make sure the guys who appreciate it get it.
And out there in that ditch. It's a whole different world when you're a grunt. The guys that actually live out there on the ground, sleep in the mud and stuff. It's a whole different game. I can't even explain it, man.
2 different wars, as I found out. Guys in the back versus men on the ground and infantry and such as that. 2 different wars.
Man, those guys had those rucksacks on. That's all they had in the world with them, man. They had everything. That was their belong. Slept on the ground at night and stuff like that. Leeches getting you if you're around the swamp, and leeches gonna get you. Mosquitoes gonna get you. Leeches gonna get you. Man, it was crazy. So when I got an opportunity, and every once in a while they say I'm going back. Say, man, can you send us some? I'll send us some beer, liquor, some steaks and stuff out, some hot food out to them that probably went to somebody else. You see what I'm saying?
Excellent.
I would do that, man. It was pure hell. It's just kind of hard to explain to a person how it was out there in the field, living out there in the field, sleeping in the mud. It's just hard. The leeches, you get a body check with your buddies. I didn't hump a lot, but every once in a while I got caught out there too. You got to do a body check. You're taking a cigarette and touch a leech. Leeches get off you, man. You going through the swamp water, the leeches, you can see them moving in the water, they're ready to jump on you. It's hard to explain that, man. A lot of guys that was infantry, they got out the military, man. They got out of Vietnam War when it was over. If you was infantry now, a lot of those guys that probably retired from during the Vietnam era, truck driver, mechanics, cooks, suppliers, something like that, But most of those guys that were infantry, they got out of Vietnam. They got out of Vietnam alive. Haven't even looked back at them. I'm telling you. You know, it's hard to tell a man he needs to be infantry. That should be outlawed.
Oh, wow.
It need to be outlawed, man. Infantry soldiers, all the credit in the world, man. I'm telling you. It's kind of hard to explain to them. You know, explain a person as an infantry soldier out there. It really is. It is. I'm telling you.
Were you guys using mini grenades at that time? Did y'all use the regular M67 baseball grenades kind of?
It was kind of like a baseball grenade. I didn't carry a grenade. I wouldn't carry.
Except for your smoke.
Yeah, I carry smoke grenades, stuff like that, but I wouldn't carry a regular grenade because I was in and out, and I was always in the thick of my radio, and I can handle the bandoliers and stuff like that, and the smoke. If smoke went off, it just probably gonna burn me. That grenade went off. I snatched the pin off a grenade for a smoke. You know what I mean? I'm through. You know what I mean? So I just didn't mix it. I would mix the grenade. And I didn't even carry grenades. I really wouldn't even carry one. Like I said, I carry my Car 15, and I carry my Booby knife, and I carry smoke, and I carry a 45 inside my shirt. Nobody could see it. You know. Right.
Simple, but effective. And there's one question about the your radio. Did your buddies help carry some of your rucksack contents while you were humping the Prick 25, or did you have it pretty?
I didn't hump that much because I stayed out humping probably about maybe 2 or 3 days. I didn't hump that much because I was already set for the next mission. I go, you know, everybody they wanted to use going in because the commander, when they found out what we was doing, it kind of relieved him of some of his duties. He up there trying to keep his guys alive, and I'm up there trying to keep everybody else alive. And also kill as many vehicles as I could with the aircraft and the gunships and stuff that I had under my control, and keeping guys that was a combat assault. You get out of combat assault, coming in off a helicopter, guy don't know which way to run. You don't know which way to exit the helicopter. So I'm gonna be there already waiting on him. So look, go this way here. You're getting shot down. Don't go back on the backside of the helicopter. Guy shooting at you, you running just ducking, man. Like I said, I've seen guys run into the tail rotor of the helicopter and get killed, man. Grind up, you know. We're trying to keep these guys alive. And so they come in on the helicopter and they get shot at. They just running. They just running for safety. I don't know which way run. The helicopter sometimes spin off, had to turn around and exit. You know, that tail rotor was a dangerous piece on that what you call. And sometimes you can come in and you can't go forward getting out. You had to drop in and pull a piece getting out. All of it was different, man. It ain't like no clear landing zone. No, you got to work your way in down between some trees. Sometimes you hit some of the limbs and stuff, and see the doggone guy in the policy in and tell them, you know, they walking them in. That's right. It can be pretty hectic out there, man. Just to say the least, man. It could be tough out there in that stick. Especially when somebody's shooting at you, trying to kill you.
I was about to say, add in some people shooting at you. That's gonna make it all that much worse.
I'm telling you, it wasn't no joke. Now I'm just being real with you.
No. Well, this will be interesting. I've not asked this before. Bud, can you ask Mr. King which enemy weapon did he like to use, or did he use any enemy weapons? And what did you think was better, the AK-47 with the 30-round mag or your Car 15 with the 20-round?
Well, the AK-47, it had a bigger kick. It pretty much fired the same round as the old M14 and 60 M60 machine gun. It round pretty much the same thing. AKA, it did not jam as much, and those guys carried them all down in the tunnel through the swamp too. They didn't have as many problems as some of the early going with the M16. Everybody didn't have a Car 15. Car 15, M16, pretty much the same thing, just redesigned as the M16, fired the same ammunition and stuff. But it was required to try to keep as clean as possible. A lot of grit get in and would jam it where it wouldn't shoot. Whereas the AK-47, it would look like it was self-cleaning. When it fired, like it cleans itself. They had dirt and everything, and it still would shoot. You know what I'm saying? But we did have a few problems. I think they made the adjustments. I don't know exactly what they did, but I never have a problem with my my car jamming on me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I kept some of that. I guess you want to call it WD-40. I think that's what they was labeling and started using it in Vietnam before they labeled that WD-40. In Vietnam, we used to get little cans of that. It didn't have a name on. We would spray it and kept it clean like that and blow a lot of the grit and stuff out. That helped out quite a bit. But for them using the car 15, it was lightweight. I could shoot with one hand and be running, talking on the phone, still shooting. You know what I mean? Because I had a strap on it. I could be shooting and running, talking on the phone at the same time and running. No, but I wouldn't take nothing in the world for it, though. But it was very lightweight, deadly, fast shooting gun. It was good. I didn't have a problem with mine at all. No jamming, none whatsoever. And the M14 and the M16 was just a little too long for me to have as my personal weapon. Mm-hmm. As much as I had to get it in and out of the helicopter, I had to handle radio in one hand, the car 15 in the other, and I'm talking on the phone, shooting at the same time, and ducking and dodging. It just it is what it is. It is what it is. But I want to be able to do that with the M16. So the car 15 worked good for me.
Wow. Yeah, it looks like that. And as hard as they were to come by, glad you got one, because, like you said, getting in and out of the short space you were in, or the small space you were in, that car 15 was a absolute perfect weapon for you to use.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Ooh, this will be interesting. I don't think I've asked you about this before. Jason said, we've heard mostly from SOG vets here on the channel. I'm curious if you knew about SOG and U.S. Recon teams working on the Ho Chi Minh Trail in Laos and Cambodia.
He said, if I knew that world,
did you know about the guys doing their missions over in Indian country?
No, I didn't know about those guys. But I knew, and I helped extract some teams. I knew they had been over, but as far as getting in that business, I didn't ask them, and they didn't tell. You know, it was their thing. A lot of the intel they was getting was going to be for a mission for me tomorrow or the next day. You see what I'm saying?
Wow.
So I didn't, and I think it was a big Special Forces team, I think in Khartoum, I believe, up there.
CCC and Mike Force at Khartoum.
Yeah, that's around Khartoum. At one point, I was gonna, while working in the Khartoum area, I was gonna just see if I can go to Special Forces. I said, "No, I'm gonna stay Pathfinder." You know.
Wow. Okay.
So, I didn't go to Special Forces. I stayed Pathfinder my entire 18 months in Vietnam. That's all I did was Pathfinder duty the whole 18 months. I didn't do anything else. I worked with the Rocks, the Korean guys. They had a big compound. They had a big compound between I think it was Unkay and Queen Young, that big rock compound there. I worked with them on a few missions, and I really didn't like them. They had a whole different kind of system going on.
Tough guys.
Yeah, they did PT in Vietnam. I said, no, I know we're not doing PT. I didn't know they get up them all time and do PT. No, we're not gonna do it in PT. No.
Oh, they get out there and do karate and beat the mess out of each other. I've heard.
Yeah, they're a whole different group. But I worked with the Rocks. I worked with the Arvins at different time. I worked with the 25th. But the group, the patches I wear are the one that I guess working with 101st during the invasion of Cambodia was big for me. And getting wounded with the 173rd, that was big for me. Getting the bronze with the 4th Division, that was a big one. And most of my mission was with the 4th Division unit. And I just got assigned out on a big operation to help get a body count in with the other groups.
Man, and that's actually we're about to be done here, sir. I know I've got you almost 2 hours here.
Okay.
That was one of our questions. Somebody was considering with all your experience and work. Did you ever consider going special forces, which you kind of alluded to right then?
Well, like I said, I thought about it and I did, but I didn't know that much about them. I know they work mostly with the mountain yards, and I had worked with the mountain yards, but I'll be out there when they needed some support, somebody to relieve them of their duties at the camp. I would be out there at the mountain yard camp. We had a little compound set up out there. But I didn't really know that much about what they were doing. I heard they would go do this and do that, but for details, no, I didn't know that because I didn't ask and they didn't tell. But I thought about it just to say I went special forces, but shit, I don't think they did too much more than what we did at all. Hell at the office at times, though. It's crazy. It was some of those things. We did different stuff. They did their thing, we did ours. But I don't know which was the most dangerous. But I know I had my tough days at the office on hundreds of times. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah. What with your work going in and looking for LZs and such, did you ever come across any impressive feat of any enemy engineering or any infrastructure that you found that was pretty remarkable or noteworthy in your opinion?
Well, not really. I wasn't out there that much humping. Most of the time the guys that did the humping, they ran across. But I just knew from just being out there, you don't take the well-beaten path. You don't use that.
Oh yeah.
You don't use that one. And those guys were just smart. I was out there a few days or something there. You take one guy, say one enemy guy, he can come up and tie up a whole platoon or tie down a company whole. They just come up and shoot a few times and go back on the ground. And you don't know where in the hell you could spend $1 million worth of audience trying to find him and kill him or whatever. I've seen that happen a few times. And they just so smart. They'll come up and shoot and make you kill each other if you're not careful. Shoot, they'll come up out of the ground and blast and go back on the ground and smoke them some dope or something, Wow. They were just, that's the way they were. And you get out there and they'll make you kill each other. If you got a few rookies out there, they come up in the middle of the jungle or somewhere up out of a hole or something and shoot. And don't nobody know where he's at. Shoot, you just start shooting, man. I got caught a few times out there with him. I just laid low on the ground. I said, I'm not gonna get up. Lay low on the ground. You get up and try to run, you're gonna get killed because those bullets is traveling. You see what I'm saying? But that was just like on the job training stuff not to do. Mm-hmm. You can't get up and take off and running. Oh no, just gonna do that grazing fire. That's for people that's running. Cut those people down and running. Fire breaker, I just kind of just laid close down on the ground till it kind of stopped because everybody shooting in every direction. They're not telling about people shoot each other up out there. But I'm just telling because I knew it happened. It happened a lot. It's embarrassing me. You shooting some of your own guys up, but it happened all the time. That's some of the tricks they would do. Yeah, ease up out of hole, shoot somebody, go back in, chill out. And you up there shooting 4 or 5 hours, calling $1 million audience, trying to kill one guy.
Oh man! And they're just sitting down there in that spotter hole, laughing and giggling.
That's right. That's what they do. And you up there just shoot all day long, trying to find out where it is. But see, that's why sometimes I would call the F4 and come up. More than likely, the F4s have some Willie Peaks, some white phosphorus. Shoot, sometimes you drop down the area where you think it's coming from. Shoot, you're cooking down there, man. You can cook them. Wow. But like I said, it was a hell of an experience for me. Poor Georgia boy. Poor Georgia boy going to the military. Shoot, I don't want no more part in the military, man. I don't want no more part of the war, nothing.
Yeah, you've definitely had enough of that for one lifetime. We mentioned we've got 2 more, and I was going to show some photos, and we'll be wrapped up here. I think you mentioned, did you have any previous family service? And I couldn't remember, but I think you had a brother that actually served in Vietnam.
Yeah, I had a brother with the first Cav. I think he was over probably like I don't know, probably 65, somewhere along there.
Oh wow!
He was the first Cav. But they was getting a good feel of how it was going on over there. But I think the biggest killing years during the Vietnam War were like, I think 68, 69, 70. That was the year they were really doing some serious killing over there. You know what I mean?
Oh yes, sir. It was high time and bad stuff going on.
69 and 70. That's when they were really doing some killing hundreds a week during that time.
Oh,
yeah, I had a brother over there. I think he was with the first Cav. He was 4 years older than I was. But he stayed in, I don't know, about 14, 15 years. His reason for getting out, I don't know.
Wow.
I tell the world my reason for getting out because of what I was doing, It just wasn't many Pathfinders. I don't know any other Pathfinders around here. They went through the school, but as far as doing Pathfinder work, I think a lot of them got killed. Most of them got killed or got out. They didn't want to talk about it. It's not Pathfinder, I guess, is such a I guess elite group. It's such a small percentage of guys that went through Pathfinder school and survived. The Lord just blessed me to be able to survive it, but because I wasn't supposed to get killed. It was because it just wasn't my time to get killed. It wasn't because I was hiding and ducking. No, I couldn't have got any close to the front line, and I ain't got left behind enemy line. You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't. I just didn't get killed, man. But the Lord is good. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Last ones were dealing with camo and booby traps. Someone was asking about what your favorite camo that you wore and what did you think of the ERDL camouflage that you were wearing in that photo earlier?
Well, that ERDL, I really don't even know what those stand for. I know I was issued that. Now they had those tiger stripes. That was most of the I think the Vietnamese guys. They wore those. And when I first got to Vietnam, most somebody was wearing those. I would call them the jungle fatigues, like those there. Wore Pathfinder and Special Forces guy. And I think Recon, the regular soldier, wasn't wearing those guys. Wasn't wearing that right. But they was, I would think, the best ones right there. That blend in more with the surrounding where we was working at the jungle. That was a good blend there.
I like those. That's there's a tiger stripe right there.
Yeah, that's a tiger stripe there, but those blended in quite well. And you see, I had an advantage too, So I didn't have to put the face markers on. I didn't have to put the face markers. You know what I'm saying?
I already had the natural break.
Yeah, man.
Don't worry about it.
I have a six-pack too. See,
you looking fit as a fiddle right there compared to everybody else. You're looking like Mr. Olympia there.
Yeah, I have a six-pack. I don't realize that. But I had that guy right there to my left shoulder. That tall guy, that was commander right there. Yeah.
Is that Lieutenant Eccles?
Yeah, that's Eccles right there.
I've got another great photo of you two that I'll bring up real quick. Right, that's
you see the guy all the way to the far left on that tall guy?
With the necklace on?
Yeah, man, that's a rich kid. Now that's the one from New Jersey, man.
Oh, that's the New Jersey boy.
Yeah, I think he's the one went in the rescue with me, that guy. I forgot his name, man. Goodness gracious. But he was a rich kid. And you look at him, he even look rich, man. The rest of them like poor guys, that guy dad was a scientist or something.
Oh,
the rest of those guys you see around there, they're like Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi.
Wow.
Yeah. But that guy was a rich kid. He came in. I guess he was just trying to do something, but he was a rich guy. Sure was.
Wow.
It was all good, man. If I had to do it all over again, if I can get my youth back, I'd try it again. You know what I mean? But that Vietnam War was a hell of a war.
Oh,
it was hell. It was hell. I don't know what to say, but
here is the infamous.
Yeah, that's why I got my foot hit, man. At least one thing, either my feet was high when I was running, or whatever. I'm glad it hit low at my feet instead of my head, man. A headshot might have took me out. You know what I mean?
That's there's your black cat right there. I just noticed.
Yeah.
Thank goodness. Wow. I mean, even though a foot injury can mess you up and take you out of commission for a while, but thank God it wasn't a head injury that could have potentially been fatal.
Probably could have killed me. But it was a piece of shrapnel from the mortar went through my foot. And,
Jeez Louise.
I'm glad it didn't go through my head. You know what I'm
saying? We've got a few more. I found this. I think this is the bunker.
Yeah. I was right below there. See the RPG hit right there in the front, right there. There's a firing sector right below there. Right on by you, come down right there. That little hole right there. I was down under there, man.
Holy cow!
That's why I lost my hearing there, right there.
Got your Pathfinder.
Fight RPG and now, man, I'm telling you the truth.
You're lucky. I mean that you got quite.
If I come in that hole, I've been through, man.
Oh, I mean, and those RPGs aren't no joke, and especially if you got somebody that can put it in close like that on y'all, that's some bad news coming your way.
It was pretty close.
That's a great photo right here.
Yeah, that guy right there, he got killed. My Pathfinder right there, he got killed.
Oh no.
Well, what happened? We had been on a mission. We stopped by the river, do river thing, take a bath in the river and stuff.
Oh.
He didn't get shot. He dove off the front. He just drove the 3/4 ton out in the river, you know, and shoot. He died off the front end of the shot of water. Popped his neck, man.
Oh my God.
He did. Popped his neck.
Lord have mercy.
We was getting ready to go out on a mission. I don't know what that was. Somewhere it was three. We was probably going out to 5 bays because it was 3 of us. Guy sitting in the helicopter. He's a Pathfinder. His name is John Hester. He retired from the military. And that one next to me with this radio, he got, like I said, he ended up getting killed. I pulled him out the river because I thought when he pops his neck, it paralyzed him on the spot. And I thought he just landed in the water, pranking us, you know. And I pulled him out the water. He ended up dying later on.
My God, that is just sad as can be. That is of all the ways to go out in a war zone, enjoying yourself on the off time out of the war.
As me and my CO, I think we was at Bong Sung there on a mission in Bong Sung. That's Eccles there. He live out in Birmingham now. He's a lawyer out there.
That's why. Oh wow, he's a few hours north of me then.
He out there in live out there in Birmingham area.
Right here, was that a Airborne and a
Airborne and Pathfinder?
Oh wow, you did make a Pathfinder scroll. That's great. I was hoping that was the case.
Yeah, it's not range. I told them I was going to go to range school. They said I can go out and come back to Vietnam. They said I want to go to jungle expert. He said, don't worry about jungle expert. You going to the jungle expert. Going to the jungle, you'll be expert when you get back. But they needed Pathfinders bad, man, because when I got over there in the first March of '69, man, there was so much going on over there, man. They was just trying to get some body counts, man. I'm telling you. There was some killing going on. Yeah. That's on another mission there. I was standing up on a control tower. I think they were running air traffic control or something.
Gosh, that's great. We all love photos. That's why I appreciate you letting me use some of these.
Yeah.
I've got one or two more. I was going to show some of the guys on your off time and all of that, and then we'll sign off for the day. This is a great photo of you, and guys, this is what Vietnam looks like when you're picturing. You think of the SOG photos and the SF and the dirt roads and all that. This is city Vietnam right here.
Yeah, that's down the Saigon, man. I just went down there, killed some time one day. I had a cousin down there working with the commissary down there, managing the commissary down there. And I went down there, you can see that little buckle right there in my shirt. I had that 45 right now.
Oh, yeah, that's 45
in my shirt.
There you go.
I kept, but see, it was thick down. I didn't know who was who, but they said, well, you wasn't scared? I'll buy myself. I've been going out of town. They can't do no more than me. I can do to them. So I went out of town. And I told the guys, let me ride this thing, man. Just ride. I was just getting away from the wall for a minute. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah. Got to decompress somehow.
You can see how I was down there. Wasn't nobody down there but me. I'm coming out in the middle of the street. But I said, well, as long as they don't bother me, I'm not going to bother them.
Yeah, you're not going out looking for trouble. Heck, you're trying to cut loose for a second and decompress.
That's all I want to do, man. But like I said, guys said, you done it by yourself. I said, I sure will.
My favorite photo of you and this dog and his looks like
my dog. His name was Sham. I raised him from a little puppy. See that picture above? That's I was just getting to Vietnam then.
Where'd you get him at?
I don't know. Somebody had him down by the dump. And I gave him a few candy bars or something for him and brought him in. There he is. He's trained. He's hardcore now. He wasn't afraid of the helicopter. And we went out on a mission. But I was going out to a fire base. It was three of us going. We was on separate air control ATCI, one of those big fire bases. That's why I had my dog with me. And he wasn't an attack dog, no, he was more of a company dog. I kept him with me for company. And then when I be out on fire bases at night, he'll let me know somebody trying to sneak up on me or something. Most time when I went out there, I slept on top of the bunkers instead of inside the bunkers. We got like unkill somewhere, because if you get sappers in there, they're gonna come throw sapper charges inside the compound. So I slept on top of the compound. I slept on top. I said, nah. Some things you don't do. I slept on top of the compound. My dog slept on top of me. Because around on K area, it was tunnels all under the base there.
Oh,
it was all over the base, man. The different tunnels. These people couldn't find it. It was tunnels all over on K, all under the Camp Ranh Bay.
Jeez, Louise.
I slept on top of the bunker most of the time. Either you go inside the bunker, sapper come in and throw some charge, you dead. Oh, that's another picture. We just went out on the beach. See my 45, I kept it down on my shirt. We just went out on the beach, chill out. That's when I had to stand down with some brothers. Come on, man, let's ride and go somewhere. We went out on the beach, wasn't nothing out there, was an old bird or whatever out there. But we just went out there looking for trouble, but I think that's what we were doing. But if you kind of loose like that, you did pretty much what you want to do out there, man. They wouldn't tell me what to do. If I get in some serious trouble, I'd come up on a helicopter, snatch me out of here. But once you get over there and people know who you are and stuff, and know your call sign and stuff like that, you'd be surprised the connection you have, man. The camaraderie. They don't know you, they just know your call sign. And they'll hear me on the radio, either getting shot at or directing traffic or on CAs or getting shot, all that stuff going on. And I just stayed in the thick of it, man. I really did.
And with such a unique call sign like that, I can only imagine folks, anytime they heard anything resembling Night Jumper, they immediately got ears to radio thinking, what's Willie up to now?
What's happening there? I came back off a mission. Man, I was glad to be back. It's probably one of the tough days at the office. I went and found some brothers. I had to go find somebody to talk to. I said, man, let's talk. We went around, we smoked this on unauthorized smokes and drank some liquor and stuff, man. Just glad. So you made it. Yeah, I made it back. A tough day off. That's all we were doing, just chilling out, talking what's going on back in the world, stuff like that. And those guys, I think about their supply. So they was in supply. So whatever we needed, got back. I contact those guys there, and anything that we need in supply, we got it. Liquor, beer, drugs, or whatever. And sometimes I'll tell you, sometimes you had to smoke drugs to kind of calm down. Man. I'm just calling like it was. You have the shakes and you can't stop shaking. And I'm not a dope. I never was a dope head, but I drank enough liquor that it wouldn't bother. I just still be sometimes shaking from a mission. I wasn't shaking on the mission, but when I got back and I settled down, I just started shaking. And I couldn't stop thinking about just how close it was. Then you get to drinking and smoking, you calm down, you level off, and you calm. Then you make jokes about it. You start telling jokes about it. Somebody got shot at, or almost got killed, and close call. But during the time, oh man, it was here. It's scare you to death, man. I'm serious.
I mean, I don't see how the guys did it in Iraq, not having been able to drink and all of that, even though some of them clearly snuck stuff over there and had their.
They did. I've been to war myself. You had to, man. You get caught out there.
You got to be able to drink and smoke.
You got to be able to do something, man. Because I'm gonna be real with you. Every time you see me, what I'm doing, I'm smoking and stuff. I'm nervous. I'm just tired. Those are those rocks. Those from the rocks there.
There we go. That is it. I didn't even notice that.
Yeah, those are the rocks.
Tough boys right there.
Yeah, it wasn't small. He's still.
That one's pretty daggone big right there. These are two right here also. Good Lord.
You didn't. One thing for sure, you didn't want to grab one. We have a bad day off. You grab one of those guys.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I think that's.
I'm a lieutenant again.
Yeah, LT Eccles again.
Mm-hmm.
That's a great photo.
Yeah.
I think that was from his wife. I forgot how I got that. We've got one more good one. You had such great ones. I had to share it with you. Oh, well, two more. One's two are post Vietnam, but there's you and the LT linking up again.
Yeah, that's at the Pathfinder School at Fort Benning. That's out at the Pathfinder School. What happened? I had found out that the that picture was hanging in the school. I've been hanging in the school for years.
Yes.
And I didn't know about it out there. So I got in touch with some of the command out there, and I was telling them who I was, what I was trying to do. And it was some needed some correction done on the pictures. And so they gave me the authority to do it. And I found out my commander was in Birmingham, and I called him. I got in touch with him. He came over and stood with me, and he stood with me. Went out to the school with me, and we were able to take the picture off the wall and make the necessary correction. I just kind of signed off, and I put my signature on the picture. And the school still have it out there, Pathfinder School, wherever they got this stuff at. But
that's great.
My commander right there. That's probably about, I don't know, maybe about 5-6 years ago.
I think it said 19, maybe.
Okay, well, exactly 5 years ago. Then.
Yeah. That's great, y'all too. Not only, guys, in the picture he's referring to is the famous one we showed where he's got his headset on with his Car 15. They had put up the photo and it mistakenly said that Sergeant Willie was already KIA, or not in the war, but he had already passed on. So imagine to his not dismay, but his surprise that he sees that his picture's hanging up at the Pathfinder Hall of Fame in the school, and he gets to correct it. So very, very interesting.
Yeah, they thought I was dead, and but it was one of the cadre out there, one of the Airborne Department cadres. He saw the picture and said, "No, this guy's not dead." But see, I had like one on the ground. I went silent, and nobody know I really exist, to be honest with you. But I went out there and got it corrected. I didn't even see myself on TV. Somebody else saw me on TV. and told me about it. I thought they was BSing me. So I found out where it was at, and I checked and right, and I said, "Oh wow, I didn't even know that was going on." So, but like I said, I was trying to stay as far away from the military as I possibly could, because I was trying to forget all that I had done, I had been a part of. I was trying to forget all that because I didn't want those memories. Because I had some good memories, but it seemed like all those horrific moments would always override the good ones. You see what I'm saying?
Absolutely. It's
that's where that was.
And this has got to be post Vietnam. You've got your CIB and your campaign service medal, your jump wings, Pathfinder badge. I've always been curious, what are the green on your epithet?
I don't know. There was just they told me it was part of the uniform.
I wonder if that's a leadership role or sergeant.
That picture there was. I took that picture. I came home as a body escort. I told my buddy got killed.
Yes, sir.
I took that picture. I left Vietnam and rendezvous with my buddy that got killed over there at Dover, I think Dover, Delaware.
Yes.
And I had that uniform on during the funeral and whatever. I escorted the body from Dover to a funeral home here in Columbus. And that's the uniform I had on there doing this funeral service there. Wow. And I didn't know what body escort was, but that was an OJT experience for me. I learned what to do. A couple of guys folded flag for me, and I presented it to his wife, to the widow. But man, I was asked, what you do with a body escort, you know? Yeah, I said, just stay with the body. I said, well, on the job training, you know? So that's what I ended up doing. I learned on the job training what to do and how to do. And I just pulled guard by the body for probably about 2 or 3 days before they had the funeral. And then once that was over with, I caught another flight and went back to Vietnam and went back to doing all that crazy stuff. But I told you during that time, I got hung up. I just extended, and I hadn't even finished the 12 months. I extended, and I said, what in the hell am I doing? But that's you get caught up in that stuff, you know what I mean? And I got caught up in it. And like I said, Lord, good, man. It's about I can talk about it now.
Thank the good Lord above that you made it back to be able to talk to us, and all most of your friends and else back as well. That's amazing. Guys, and Kyle, I believe, as he said, he was the only Black Pathfinder at that point in time in Vietnam. Yes,
I showed you the magazine cover then.
You showed me, but yes, the folks would love to see that. That's published on Point, the journal for Army history, guys. If you're trying to find out what that book is, with the cover of Mr. Willie, and this there's actually 2 books, and then this is a Pathfinder book about the 101st, but it's Pathfinder training and what they're doing in Vietnam. Nonetheless, a great book that starts 67, 68. And then Mr. Willie is holding up On Point, but he is also, if you'd like to, yes, there we go. Let me put you on full screen, and I'll read the title in case folks can't see that. The book he's holding on our left is called Vietnam, A Tale of Two Tours, by James C. Mooney Jr., and he is a Loach helicopter pilot that Mr. Willie flew on I think it's called a pink team, to where the Loach was flying low, getting targets ready, and the Cobra was coming in and annihilating the area. So
yeah, he was actually the flying that day we got shot down in Cambodia. That was his team. And he wrote his book about it, and he found out I was still alive, and but he actually saw us get. His team was my escort into Cambodia when we got shot up, and he actually got a few pictures of me in his book when we was going into Cambodia before we went into Cambodia, but he actually saw us get shot up. And I think I'm grateful he put his team on on the guy, you know what I mean? But he actually saw us get shot up, and he put us in his book. And thank God for him. Probably could have been a worse day than what it turned out to be anyway. If that had been for his team. But
I'm gonna end up putting that a link to that. I haven't even found it. I'm gonna actually order his book as well, because it sounds like not just with your story in it, but it sounds like he's a very interesting man. And I'm gonna check that out. And guys, if y'all don't look it up yourself, give me a little while when we get done, and I'll link it into the show notes, as well as linking that where y'all maybe can get some Pathfinder information and some stories on Mr. Willie, as well as one of, as I mentioned earlier, one of the interviews is linked in the bottom. Jason was curious about On Point. He's wondering what volume and issue number are you on the cover of On Point?
Let's see, Jason. It's volume 26, number 44, and it's the summer of 2021.
Excellent. You got that, Jason? We can probably end up Googling On Point and finding it, but I think with that specifics, I think we ought to be able to find it pretty good. Yes, sir. We've got it. I just grabbed a screenshot of it, and I'm sending that to Jason in case he can't find that. Let's see here. God, we've already hit the 2 hours and 15 mark. Did you have anything else that you would like to share with us, or tell us before we start closing up for today, sir?
No, I'm good. Unless there's another question or something out there, I don't have a problem. I'm good. If anybody got another question, hopefully I can answer for them. But
let's see here. Oh, one did pop up about y'all doing going in on LZ insertions and the missions. Were there any outrageous booby traps or tripwires or snap traps set up for y'all looking for LZs or inserting early?
No, I didn't encounter any. I'm pretty sure if you use it several times, they'll booby trap it for you. But a lot of times the LZ we use was something that just come up, someone use spot quick and use, and we wouldn't use them that often unless it's team already out there somewhere getting the extraction. But as far as a CA, we'll pick one and go into it and go from there. But I never encountered any booby traps. Nah.
Wow, that
is I know they was there, but I just never get involved. I had a witness have an encounter with any of those booby traps.
Ooh, one did pop up, and I think that's our last one, unless one's popping in. Animals. We usually ask, and I can't believe I've forgotten. Tigers, any snake stories? Of course, you mentioned leeches out the yin yang, which is bad enough.
Well, I didn't personally encounter any tiger, but around that Mountain Yard camp out there, there was a tiger that was killed. He had been they got a leg injury or something, so he would try to come around and snatch a kid or whatever from around the area, but they ended up hunting him down and killing him. It was a big tiger there. There was one he had one of his paws had been injured, So when he come around the village and try to snatch a kid for lunch, you know what I'm saying? Or whoever eating kid. But they ended up killing one there around south of Play Creek. I wasn't involved, and I just heard about it. But for a snake, I didn't encounter any snakes in the wild. Like I said, I was always too busy. I probably stepped around, stepped on a few. Didn't even know it. I was more worried about the two-legged snake. But I'm sure they was all over the place. I just never did get encounter. Ran a few of those little scorpions quite a bit around some of the compounds. I never did see them out in the field, but they must be around some of your base camp areas. Some of those scorpions be around then.
Yikes.
But they had snake they call, I think, bamboo vipers. I never encountered any kind of snake in the wild, but
two-steppers.
Pretty sure they were there too. Maybe they had orangutans ran wild over there.
Oh yeah.
Young orangutans, monkeys. I had a monkey once. I ran into a anteater over there.
Oh, wow.
That was about it. But it was a lot of stuff over there. But they avoided you as much as possible. There was all kind of stuff in the jungle over there. Big cats, but you didn't know about them. Orangutans. A lot of those lion groups, they killed orangutans at night. They didn't know what it was. Set off trips, wires, and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. But I never did. Like I said, most I ever hunt for probably about 4 or 5 days with a group. But then I leave from out there and I go get another group. You see what I'm saying? So they want me to hang around my expertise for the artillery, aircraft, and they just trying to get body counts and get as many guys killed, as many enemy killed as possible. That's what they wanted us for. That was our job, primary out there, and that's what they used us for. And I try to do my very best and everything I did,
Wow, gosh. And this is our last one. Great question to close on. Galil, what was the largest airstrike or the largest number of aircraft you called in or used as a Pathfinder?
What was the largest airstrike you had to call in as a airstrike? I don't know. I guess almost pretty much the same. It really wasn't like a massive bombing situation. All those pretty small because your encounters with the enemy out in the field was pretty much, for me, it's pretty much small elements, sniper teams and stuff like that. But the biggest probably around one of those base camps out there, somebody trying to raid you, charge you like that. Those guys were smart. You hardly ever catch them out in the open. A lot of times you don't know if you done shot a guy because he's always in camouflage. He's somewhere hidden. And the only way you catch a guy open is you out there sitting as a sniper or you're alert team or something out there just sitting waiting. But you hardly ever see a Viet Cong MACV-SOG out in the open. No, it just wasn't gonna happen. You just can call in strikes. I probably call them more strikes on combat assaults. The Cobras firing as we going in to an LZ, firing rockets and the machine going in on a hot LZ. That's probably about the most I've used myself.
Wow.
But, you can hear the B-52s rumbling the ground, shaking miles away. But going in, I've had plenty Cobras, and they also had those Charlie Mile gunships right on the side of me going into a LZ so I can get in. They'll fire all the way going on one on each side, and they'll unload the rocket and minigun going in. And when I hit the ground, I take cover and go there and set up shop and go from there. That was about the largest one. There's 2 gunships at a time, and once in a while F4s pop up. But that was a regular day at the office for me.
Wow. And I did skip over this one. This was the last one. Jason was curious about, good question with Pathfinders. What's the closest you ever got to the enemy without them knowing they were out there or knowing you were close?
Well, probably that guy with that RPG.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't even see him. I didn't even see him. He saw me, but I didn't even see the guy. The guy at RPG, he probably saw me. He probably, but I did kill a buffalo. I killed one of the water buffalo, and man, that was a no. I killed a water buffalo, but he probably was hiding behind the buffalo. But I killed the buffalo, and shortly after I killed the buffalo, RPG came in there, and it just knocked me out of commission. So I probably close to him. He wasn't where I could see him. That's for sure. No.
God Almighty.
But one other thing, we had one sapper attack out there. I forgot about it. One sapper attack. It was the suicide guys. It was out there at the Mount Yard camp out there too. this guy got trapped in the concertina wire.
Oh,
He set off the trip flare, and he set off the trip flare. He was cooked then, but anyway, he set off the trip flare. He was one of those sappers, one of those suicide guys. He was trying to come into the compound to set off his charges and kill us. But what happened as he was making it through the wire, he set off a flare. And when he set off the flare, well, you know, he got cooked, and his charges went off.
Oh yeah.
And when his charges went off, we found a hand. That was about it.
Oh wow. Yeah.
Found the hands. He just disappeared. But he got cooked. He got cooked. So by the close I don't want to be that close to nowhere.
No, that's smelling distance right there. I'm good. That's way too close for comfort right there.
Well, I about as close as one that got blew up in the wire, and one that fired that RPG on my fire sector right over my head while I'm standing over there. Now he wasn't too far now, but he was outside the wire. But I like I said, I didn't see him. He was still hidden from me, but that'd be kind of close to get that close a shot. You see what I'm saying?
And to see you out of that, or see that there was a person inside the peephole, or in the firing position.
Yeah, he saw where I was shooting from,
mm-hmm.
And to get that close accurate shot, he just missed that hole by a foot or something. You know what I mean?
Boy, I'm glad we saw that picture. That really puts
you see what I'm talking about.
How close you got to buying the proverbial farm, so to speak. I believe
it was close encounters, man.
You ain't lying, sir. You ain't lying.
I took the picture because hell, if I hadn't took the picture, he lying. I just took those pictures. I ain't got nothing to lie about. I just call like it is.
Yeah, anytime someone say, "Oh, that's BS," it's like, well, check out that. What's that look like to you, sir?
Yeah, that's so true. That'll shut them up on.
Pictures don't lie. Pictures don't lie. Well, it looks like we've covered it here today, sir. I want to thank you for everyone. I'm sure thanks will be popping in here momentarily, and I'll pass them along. But I just want to thank you for spending over almost 2.5 hours with us now. Didn't intend to go that long, but you are a very interesting man with one hell of a story, and I just appreciate you sharing with us today.
Okay, I appreciate you having me, and like I said, I probably missed a lot of stuff, but I tell you my story as it was, man. It is the truth. Ain't nothing fake about it. You know what I'm saying?
If you'd ever like to come back on, if you ever remember anything or got anything else you'd like to talk about, my platform is your platform. Anytime you'd like to come on and talk about anything, you're more than welcome, sir.
Well, I appreciate it. I just hope it helps somebody out. And if anybody want to ask me some question, they can feel free to contact. I call it like it is. You know what I'm saying? But I hope it helps somebody. And if they need any clarity on anything, they can contact me.
You've got a Facebook page, and I'll that's another thing I'll add along with the book. I'll link your Facebook profile to where guys can follow you and check out your posts and pictures and your memorial stuff that you do. So I appreciate that as well. And everybody's already saying please get Mr. King back on already. So I'll stay in touch with you, and once I get this, it's already up, and you can type your name in, and it'll bring it right to it. But if you have any trouble, I can get it to you. But we're gonna close out for today, and we'll see y'all later. And Mr. Willie, I will be in touch with you.
All right, appreciate you, man.
Yes, sir.
Have a good one. Okay.
Bye. All right.